Welcome back to episode 3 of Headgears to Handshakes. I'm here with Patrick Mclaughlin. First thing we do, just like any other episode, is we're going to shake hands. At the end of the episode, I'll rank that handshake. I'll tell you right now, it's a lot better than some other ones I've had.
Awesome.
But we're here, obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about wrestling, a little bit about the Marines, how wrestling prepared you for the Marines. But first, we'll start with your wrestling. How did you get into wrestling? Where are you from? What was your experience like in the wrestling world?
Yeah, so I was originally born in Pittsburgh, so just a little ways from here, but moved around a lot growing up. My wrestling career really started in New Jersey. My dad wrestled at William & Mary. He wrestled his entire time down there and had a blast. And it really shaped who he was as a person. So he got myself and my 2 brothers into it at a pretty young age. I started back in 2000 and wrestled all through the youth programs, the different youth leagues, through the school leagues, wrestled in high school, and then I went to the Naval Academy and wrestled down there.
Well, New Jersey and Pennsylvania, wrestling's no joke there.
Yeah.
Was your dad also from Pennsylvania or New Jersey? Or?
Yeah, my dad grew up in New Jersey, went to high school there.
Awesome. Well, why did you choose the Naval Academy over William & Mary?
Well, Naval Academy had a lot of really awesome things about it that appealed to me. First off was the military service afterwards. It was always something that I knew that I wanted to do, even though I didn't necessarily know the path at the time. But then moving through the recruiting process, I met a lot of really amazing people down there, the different coaches that were down there, the teammates that I would become a part of their team, and the other guys that I went through the recruiting journey with. That's really what swayed me towards Navy.
And what is it about military that you always had an eye on it?
Yeah, I think that the military gives young men and women a sense of purpose. And I know that a lot of people today especially don't really know where they want to go with their lives. And that was the same for me at the time. I knew that I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do something challenging. I knew I wanted to do something rewarding and fulfilling. And I knew that I wanted to serve others. Like since I was young, I was always looking to help out where I could, whether it was with helping coach youth programs when I was in high school or just getting out into the community and being involved. It was something that I always wanted to be a part of, and the military really fit that bill for me.
Do you know people that were part of the military when you were younger?
I did. Both my grandfathers were in the military. No one in my immediate atomic family was in the military, but I had a couple friends that had joined the military through different means, a couple different branches. But the main thing was really, as I started the recruiting process and I got exposed to it, I really started to get involved and meet new people and see what they were doing with their lives and see the trajectory that they were on, and that's really what sealed the deal for me.
When did that recruiting process start for you?
Yeah, so I really jumped into it my junior year of high school, probably a little later than most people. There were a couple tournaments that I went to that I had a strong performance in that got the attention of some coaches, which was really awesome. And I explored a bunch of different programs, D3 programs, D1 programs, big schools, small schools, and it was the people from Navy that really got me over there.
And who was it at Navy at that time?
Yeah, so Coach Joel Sherritt was the head coach at the time. He built great rapport with me, really made me feel like he was going to have me set on the path to success. And that was the foundation of it. Also had a really strong connection with one of the assistant coaches, Major J. Antonelli. My grandmother was actually his elementary school teacher. So we've been family friends for a long time, and he's still coaching down there at the RTC, and he was really involved in my recruiting process.
It's pretty neat how things go full circle sometimes,
yeah, exactly.
And it feels like it's meant to be. So you're a high school senior, you have these coaches talking to you, or junior, for maybe the Navy's case. I know they get on it pretty early. Did you know right away, hey, I know what branch of the military I want to get in? Is it something you still weren't sure, but you just like the idea of having some direction and some purpose? What was that process like of figuring out exactly what you wanted to do with the military?
Yeah, so the last 2 schools that I was deciding between was actually Navy and Army. So the big rivalry, there were a lot of pros to both schools. And I really enjoyed my time exploring both of those different options. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I decided to go with the Navy. I knew I wanted to serve, did not know in what capacity and what direction. It wasn't until I was at Navy where they did an awesome job exposing me to all of the different aspects of the Navy, both the Marine Corps side as well as everything from, I got to go on a submarine, got to go on a ship, got to spend a week out with the EOD community, the explosive ordnance disposal guys in California. So I really got exposed to a bunch of different things. The nail in the coffin for me with the Marine Corps is when I was out there doing training with the Marines, and we were out in the field and we were all dirty. It was raining on us. It was blistering hot because it was the middle of the summer in Quantico, Virginia. And I remember somebody leaned over to me and said, "Man, this really sucks." And that came in one ear and went out the other. I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever done." So I knew that if it was something that everybody else thought this was the worst part and I thought it was the best, that was probably the right option for me.
I feel like that's just wrestling in general.
Yeah.
I think if you've never wrestled, you don't get it. When you talk to people about wrestling, how hard it is, and but what they don't realize is there's also, just as hard as it is, it's that fulfilling too. Do you feel like wrestling sort of sets people up for the Marines and opportunities that Marines give?
Yeah, I mean, wrestling as a sport, it develops so many different character traits. Not just for the Marines specifically, but for the military as a whole. I will speak through my lens, which is Marine Corps. Like, the biggest things about it is I learned how to be a team member really early on. I learned what it meant to depend on other people and to have other people depending on you, right? You learn how to be reliable, you learn how to be disciplined, and all that stuff comes together and comes to a head when you find yourself in a position of leadership, right? Whether it's the captain of your high school team, or whether you're the starter at a weight class, or even if you're the second string guy and you're pushing that guy every single day, like, you don't need to have a dictated position of leadership to be a leader. And that's what really started to get my leadership wheels turning, and I learned what kind of leader I was and what directions I wanted to go. And yeah, I mean, wrestling is the hardest sport. It's the hardest sport, hands down. Anybody that disagrees, they can give me a call. But by going through all that challenging stuff, there's the famous quote, "Once you've wrestled, everything else in life is easy." And I won't say that the Marine Corps is easy. It's definitely not easy, but it prepares you to go through those hardships that you experience in the military and in the Marine Corps, and it really puts things into perspective for you.
And I know it's hard to talk about yourself, but obviously we talked about wrestling set you up for it. What kind of advantage do you think you give the Marines? Like, what do you bring that's different than maybe some of the other people you're surrounded with? And I know they do a great job training, and everybody gets to the same place. They make sure you're a well-tuned machine in whatever position you're in. Do you think wrestling maybe sets you up a little bit ahead of some of these others that you're competing against?
Oh, absolutely. With wrestling, like, just going into every event with a wrestler's mindset. Like, we think differently. Our brains are hardwired differently. And our ability to go through challenges, and at the end of the challenge, we don't want to lay down. Like, we think, what's next, right? What's the next round have for me? And just that proactive mindset of setting yourself up for success. You never go into a wrestling match without having trained for weeks and months beforehand. And it's the same thing in life. In the Marine Corps, like, before you do anything, you always have all that training that leads up to it. And a lot of people that didn't have that experience growing up, they might not have been used to that. And they go into an event or an evolution, and they might be nervous about it. I was nervous before every wrestling match. I've been here before. So you kind of have those reps and sets, though it's not directly relatable, you have that mindset going into it, which gives you a huge advantage over others.
So let's say these same things that drew you to the Marines, somebody's maybe tackling or wrestling with the idea of this. What's something you'd maybe tell them to help them get over that, that fear of it or that uncertainty of joining the Marines? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Everybody, when they think of the Marine Corps, they think it's the hardest branch, and it is. It is, and we will never tell anyone differently. But something a lot of people don't know is within the Marine Corps, there's so many different jobs that are fulfilled. Yes, you have your infantrymen. I myself am an infantryman. But we also have other jobs across the entire spectrum. We have our intelligence guys who are focused on studying maps and satellite imagery and intelligence on enemy weapon systems and formations. We also have our supply Marines who take care of all the accounting. The Marine Corps is a huge corporation, and the billions of dollars that go into the Marine Corps, there needs to be somebody that's able to keep track of that money. So we got people for that. We got people that maintain all of our vehicles. We got people that maintain all of our communications gear and do all of our electronic networking. So the biggest thing that a lot of people get hung up on a little bit is they're worried about going into the Marines and being on the front lines. When in reality, the Marine Corps has such a different, has so many different jobs that it offers. You can go in and you can do any trade skill that you would in the civilian world in the Marine Corps. And in fact, not only will you get that trade skill experience, you'll also get the leadership experience. You'll get the hands-on experience. And while you do all of that, you're not paying for trade school. You're getting paid. So I think it's a win-win.
I think that's great. Another thing is you're on contract, and a lot of them are 4-year contracts from what I'm told. Maybe they vary. So it's like a guaranteed job. I think, especially now in today's workforce, there's no guarantees. I myself have switched jobs, and So I think maybe some certainty in knowing that you're able to re-sign a contract. How easy is it to re-ante up? Let's say you're on a 4-year contract. Are you usually offered the position back? How often do people re-sign?
Yeah, so as long as you keep your nose clean, you shouldn't have any issues re-signing a new contract. As you progress through the ranks, there's more scrutiny that gets put on based on your performance. But I would say of all the people that want to stay in the Marine Corps, the vast majority have the opportunity to.
That's amazing. And what's your plan with the Marine Corps? Like, where do you want to end? What's your ultimate goal?
Yeah, so right now I'm a little bit over 6 years in. I finished my first contract, and I'm on my next contract right now. My long-term plan is I want to continue down this path as long as I can. I can't see myself doing anything in the outside world. I love the job that I have right now. It's extremely rewarding and fulfilling, being able to help young men and women find their path in life. Mm-hmm. And down the line, I would like to see myself in the position of a company commander. I would like to see myself in any position of command, so that I can actually take these young men and women and mentor them and mold them into the outstanding individuals that everybody has the potential to be.
Wow, well, I'm gonna tell you this, you have me, I'm ready to sign up, so.
All right, I got it over here.
No, well, I think that's great. I think I've definitely learned a lot about the Marines. I think that's great to tying off the episode. For the handshake ranking, I'll be honest, I give it a 9. I give it a 9.
Nice.
So that's the highest score we've had in this podcast. Again, we're only 3 podcasts in, but I'll let you know we really appreciate you, everything you guys do. The Marines have been great for wrestling. I think wrestling's been great for the Marines. And so we appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time.